Hey there. I'm glad you all came tonight. It almost feels like a normal Friday night, right? So, I want to tell you a story about my first break with organized religion. Actually, it wasn't a break, it was a hairline fracture. I was only 10, but we had just moved from the suburbs in Alabama way out to the country. This was in 1973. And when we arrived, it was summer. The only thing on TV at the time, on the three channels that we had, was the Watergate trials. So there was no one around. The nearest neighbor was a quarter of a mile away, so it was really hard to make friends. Of course, I had my dog Blackie, and he was my best buddy. But my mom was religious. Most people in the South are. And so she made sure that she found us a church. She found a Methodist church for us. We were Methodist. I used to joke that everybody in the South was born either Methodist or Baptist. We were Methodist. We got to dance. So after she found us that church, we started going. We went every Sunday morning to Hayden United Methodist Church and every Sunday night. And Sunday nights, they had a group that was called MYF, Methodist Youth Fellowship. And so I met some other kids. Some were my age, some a little younger, some a little older. But one of the girls in the group, Dawn Russell, she gave me a comic book one time. She said, "Here, you want to see this?" And I was like, "Sure." And it was Archie. Now, this is not your Riverdale dark Archie of today. It was just an Archie comic book, I thought. And Archie comic books were like, about teenagers, very wholesome. They talked about teenager-y things. And so I thought it would be really cool. But this was a different kind of Archie comic book. This was a Christian Archie comic book. So they talked about heaven and hell and being good and all that kind of stuff. And one time in the comic book, Jughead was there, and he was there with his dog, Hot Dog. And he mentioned something about Hot Dog going to heaven. And Archie was like, "Oh no, Jughead. Hot Dog can't go to heaven. Dogs can't go to heaven. Animals don't have spirits, so they can't go to heaven." Well, wait a minute. I knew there was something that was not right about that. And I thought about it a lot, but I went on to church every Sunday, and I kept up the going and doing what I was expected to do. But that moment, that break had begun. And at 16, I got to get out of those regular Sunday morning church visits because I got a job at Burger King, and the only thing more important in the South than going to church on Sunday was work. So I got excused from Sunday mornings, and the break was even further and further. I went off to college. I went off to work. I forgot about Sunday morning church. I moved to the West Coast at 25, and the break widened. Although I did find a Methodist church in San Francisco, but it wasn't a typical Methodist church. It was Glide, and it was big, and they called their Sunday things celebrations, and they even were marrying people that were gay before gay marriage was legal. So I thought that was a great place. But then I moved to Portland, and I looked around a little. I at once decided maybe Buddhism would be good, or Baha'i. I even dabbled in witchcraft a little bit. But, then I decided it was the rules that I didn't like. And I let love be my rule. That was what I wanted. And that 10-year-old girl didn't know that a few years later, a movie would come out that would be called All Dogs Go to Heaven. And I know they do.